Hi, my name is Rachel, and today we are here to talk about what we know so far about Shadow and Bone, the Netflix TV series based on Leigh Bardugo's amazing, wonderful, never been done before Grisha series. Grisha, whatever. So I'm going to pretend that my laptop is not propped up on my lap. It is. I need my notes. So Shadow and Bone is an upcoming fantasy streaming television series developed by Eric Heiser and 21 Laps Entertainment. 21 Laps Entertainment is also responsible for one of our all-time favorite shows in the, sphere of people who love television, which is Stranger Things, which is also a very popular Netflix series. This show is scheduled to premiere its first season, consisting of 8 episodes, on April 23rd, 2021. And as I said, it's based on the Grisha trilogy, which the first book being Shadow and Bone, which is the name of the now series, and the Six of Crows duology written by Leigh Bardugo. There are more books within this world, including King of Scars and its sequel, Rule of Wolves, which is due out March 30th, coming up real soon, as well as a few novellas within the world. The series was revealed to be in the works as of January 2019 in this tweet by Leigh where she says, yes, you're getting both Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows at the same time. You're getting all of the murder babies and all of the saints, and I love her and I love that tweet. She's so iconic. Shadow and Bone finds us in a war-torn world where lowly soldier and orphan Alina Starkov has just unleashed an extraordinary power that could be the key to setting her country free. With the monstrous threat of the Shadowfold looming, Alina is torn from everything she knows to train as part of an elite army of magical soldiers known as Grisha. But as she struggles to hone her power, she finds that allies and enemies can be one and the same, and that nothing in this lavish world is what it seems. There are dangerous forces at play, including a crew of charismatic criminals. I wonder who that could be. And it will take more than magic to survive. If you are a fan of YA books, I have been a fan of YA books for a long time. I remember reading Shadowhunters, the Shadowhunters books in high school. I remember picking the first one up at a Marshall's. And if you're a fan of them, then you know how we just live in this perpetual state of sorrow and disappointment when it comes to adaptations. But from what I've seen so far, I have very high hopes for the series. Leigh talked about in an interview how she went through many meetings and people were pitching her things, even things so far as a theme park. And she's like, that all sounds really cool, but what are you going to do with the story? Before finally saying yes to a particular pitch that was thrown at her about adapting it in this particular way, and she's really excited about it, so I'm really excited about it. As well as the excitement we've seen from the cast and crew and how into the lore they've gotten, and it's given me a lot of high hopes for this series. So the main executive producer is Eric Heiser, who is a screenwriter, and he is known for Arrival, which earned him a Best Adapted Screenplay nomination at the Academy Awards. He also wrote the 2010 remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street, and he wrote and directed Hours with Paul Walker, which is such an underrated movie. If you like being on the edge of your seat, worried about what's going to happen next kind of movies, watch Hours, it's so good. In an online Comic-Con panel with Leigh back in October of 2020, Eric explained that he had a desire to read for pleasure more, but it ended up being like a work thing because he devoured Six of Crows, and he actually tweeted at Leigh Bardugo about it, and she was like, oh my gosh, how cool, because she had just watched Arrival, so she was like, wow, this is a big deal that this guy likes my book. And then it ended up being a work thing because now he's adapting it. Our main cast, we have 6 people. Jessie May Lee as Alina Starkov, Ben Barnes as General Kerrigan, more on that name in a second, Freddie Carter as the incredible Kaz Brecker, Amita Suman as the amazing Inej Gaffa, Kit Young as Jesper Fahey, and Archie Renault as everyone's favorite character, Malian Oretsev. For the recurring cast, we have first and foremost in my heart, Nina Zenik. If you know me, I am the biggest Nina Zenik stan. She is my wife, no further questions, we're moving on. Daisy Head as Genya Safin, Sujaya Dasgupta as the incredible Zoya Nazialensky, Simon Sears as Ivan, Julian Kostov as Fedor, Callahan Skogman as Matthias Helvar, Zoe Wanamaker as Bagra, and she actually might be familiar to you because she played Madame Hooch in Harry Potter, and I cannot wait to watch her snap at Alina, saying to stop letting all of the heat out of her hut. I can't wait. Kevin Eldon as the Apparat, Luke Pascalino as David Kostick, Deirdre Mullins as Tante Helene, Dan Lee as Beau Yul Bayur, George Parker as Prince Vasily, and Elizabeth Ryder as Anna Kuya, who is the woman that ran the orphanage that Mal and Alina grew up in together. Leigh Bardugo did say in one interview that Pekka Rollins would be in season 1, but I can't find any hint of that anywhere on the internet besides that interview that she did, so I'm thinking maybe that got dropped or something. I'm not sure. And Leigh Bardugo herself will have a cameo in the series at some point. I'm not sure which episode, and she will be wearing a purple kefta. I think purple is Materialkai. Unfortunately, there is no Nikolai, no Wylan, and no Kuwei. So before I continue, I want to talk a little bit about Ben Barnes' character, General Kerrigan, because that name does not appear anywhere in the books. So here's what I think that they are doing. For those of us who have read the books, we know his real name. It comes up in the later books, and it is not General Kerrigan. In the books, the Darkling says that he is the descendant of a man called the Black Heretic. And it's known that the Black Heretic is the one who created the Shadowfold. The Shadowfold splits Ravka in two, and it is filled with monsters called the Volcra, and the Black Heretic apparently created it. The Darkling says that he is the descendant of the Black Heretic, but later on it's revealed to Alina that the Black Heretic and the Darkling are the same person. In the book series, the Darkling just goes by the Darkling. That is his name. That's what they call him. He doesn't have a name. At least not one that anybody else knows about besides him and his mother and then later Alina. What I assume that they are doing is they are just erasing the name the Black Heretic altogether, and instead of calling the Darkling, they're going to call the Darkling General Kerrigan, and they're replacing the Black Heretic with the Darkling. So General Kerrigan will say, I'm the Shadow Summoner, I am the descendant of the Darkling, but later on it'll be revealed that General Kerrigan and the Darkling are the same person. Basically all they did was erase the Black Heretic, which is good because I hated that name almost as much as I hate the term The Cut. There's lots of things that I hope they will replace. Not that I don't love this series. Again, just a guess, but I feel like that's the most likely option. So filming began in October 2019 and wrapped in February 2020, and all of it took place in Budapest. And based on photos posted by cast members, possible filming locations we might end up seeing in the show are the Buda Castle, Matthias Church, and the Budapest Mazes. Ben Barnes described the setting of Budapest as Tsar-punk, like steampunk, but with a Russian element to it. I'm interested to see how they take Budapest and turn it into many different places, so assumedly we will get not only Ravka, but also Kerch, Ketterdam, and Fjorda, right? I forget. Oh, it's too many names. Where Nina and Matthias will be traveling in after they were shipwrecked, if they choose to go the same line as their backstories in Six of Crows, that is. From this particular picture, it looks like they're most likely in Fjorda, but who's to say? So a little bit more about the structure of the show. David J. Peterson and Christian Thalman are behind the Grishaverse's fictional languages. They have worked on several television shows and movies. Peterson is the mind behind the languages you've seen in Thor: The Dark World and Doctor Strange, as well as the Dothraki and Valyrian languages seen in Game of Thrones, and the Elder Speech in Netflix's other hit TV show, the adaptation of the Witcher series. As I said, my favorite character is Nina Zenik, and Nina actually has an affinity for languages and speaks several of them, and I hope to actually see that on screen because it's like my dream to see all the different languages that they create used by her on screen. Joseph Trapanese created the score for Shadow and Bone, which if you haven't heard the bit that was released back in October, you need to hear it. It will give you goosebumpies. Trapanese produced and orchestrated the scores for season 3 and 4 of Showtime's original series, Dexter. So let's talk about costume and props, because if you have seen these photos, then you see the intricacy, the detail. Eric Heiser said that we worked tirelessly to craft a lived-in feel for fictional lands like Ketterdam and Ravka, with invented languages, uniforms, currency, and artistic choices from set design to costuming. Wendy Partridge is the costume designer, and she worked on the 2014 movie Pompeii, Resident Evil Retribution, and Thor the Dark World in 2013. Amita Suman said on Twitter, Wendy Partridge, the costume designer for Shadow and Bone, somehow fitted around 14 knives into my costume for Inej, which Wendy, we thank you for doing us all a service. Lee also spoke Wendy's praises, saying, Wendy Partridge, kind, talented, and just beyond the best, when somebody asked on Twitter about the costume design. And Eric on Twitter said, I happened upon our costuming department as the gloves were being made for Kaz Brecker and asked Wendy Partridge, our designer, what she was stitching on the backs, and she said this pattern is called Crow Feather. The attention to detail, just Wendy, you deserve all the awards. All of them. And we know this just from the pictures. I mean, look at that stuff. Eric also brings up that they actually had Jesper's guns custom made by a Hungarian gun maker. He also posted some of the Ravkan currency he still had lying around, which Lee explained the details of. If you're wondering about the symbol, at the center of the coin is Ravka's first altar, supposedly built on the site of what would become the Royal Chapel in Osalta. You can see the incredible attention to detail in the costume design, and this attention to detail spilled over into set design as well. The surroundings and the background of each of the photos they released have so much going on. Like the Lansov symbol on the flags, the details, I just feel so blessed. Eric Heiser mentioned being in the Crow Club, and honestly, I'm going to be rendered deceased upon seeing it the first time. He said there was a moment where he was like dealing with Ravkan money, and he was at like a gambling table at the Crow Club, and he was talking to somebody about like Ravkan language, and he had this like weird feeling where it's like, wow, this is really real. We're all going to be feeling that come April. All right, so let's talk about episode names. First episode, A Searing Burst of Light. Assumedly, this will be in reference to Alina's first use of her powers. Number 2, We're All Someone's Monster. This is something that Matthias says to Nina, but I don't think Matthias is in that episode, so I'm not sure why he would be quoted, but not in the episode, but whatever. As long as I get to see Nina, that's all that matters. Number 3, The Making at the Heart of the World. I think the first person who brings that up is Bagra, which this gives me a lot of hope that we'll see a lot from Bagra, which is my hope because she's such an excellent character. Number 4, Odkazatia, which is, I forget what that means exactly, but they refer to Mal as that. So I'm guessing we're gonna see a lot of Mal in that episode. Means like a person without powers, right? A person who's not a Grisha. Number 5, Show Me Who You Are. I'm guessing that this might be in reference to actually learning that General Kerrigan is the Darkling, the Black Heretic, right? Number 6, The Heart is an Arrow. This is something that Inej says. The quote is, the heart is an arrow, it demands aim to land true. So maybe we'll see some Inej backstory there, which I would love. She actually worked with her family. They were a family of acrobats, and I would love to see her doing the high wire in her family's show, so that would be awesome. Number 7, The Unsee, which is another word for the Shadowfold. And number 8, No Mourners, which is in reference to No Mourners, No Funerals, which is the slogan of the crows, the 6 of crows. They say no mourners, no funerals, and for them it passes as good luck. The amount of behind the scenes stuff we got by way of pictures and small videos has kept up fan hype, but also has shown us like how well the cast got along and how hyped they are about the show. Come to find out, the majority of them have read the books, so they are fans too. My favorite behind the scenes clip so far has been Jesse as Alina and Ben as the Darkling riding horses, and I love how it seems like very pointed that the Sun Summoner is riding the white horse and he, the Shadow Summoner, is on this black horse. And I have loved seeing all the videos of the cast hanging out together and hanging out with Lee. So that's all I have for you today. I'm so excited about the show. If you are super excited about it, let me know. I will be doing episode reactions with my husband, who I forced to read the whole series. But he loved it. He loved it. He is a huge Mal fan. I'm just kidding. He loves Nikolai, but he's the biggest Zoya simp ever. I mean, she could step on me, to be honest, and I would thank her. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Let me know if you are super excited about the show. Let me know all of your thoughts. Leave them in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye. I shouldn't have opened the windows.